everybody, welcome back. I hope you are having an awesome day so far. In today's episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite things about the Tonys, which are the opening performances. So just like with the Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys, all of them, they often have lots and lots of performances, and the host has started to do kind of a special opening performance of their own. So this started in about 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. Previously, the way the Tony opening kind of worked was it was just all of the nominations for Best Musical, doing a bit of an excerpt from their production, which is great and really exciting and gives everybody an opportunity to kind of get involved. But it wasn't really anything special. It wasn't really anything exciting. And that all started to change in about, like I say, 2011 with Neil Patrick Harris. If you don't know who Neil Patrick Harris is, if you've ever watched How I Met Your Mother, he plays Barney. He's a very famous Broadway actor as well. He starred in Company, he starred in Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and all sorts of other bits and pieces. And what he did is he brought this concept of an individualized opening performance to kind of give an overview of the Tony season. So his are some of my favorite openings. They've also been done by James Corden, Hugh Jackman in recent years, Kevin Spacey, and then this year's hosts, which are Josh Groban and Sarah Bareilles, and that's why I'm really excited to see what they're going to do and what they're going to bring. So my top three, I'm not even going to lie, are the Neil Patrick Harris performances. I just think he's so funny and he's so clever. Honourable shout out absolutely to James Corden, who did a fantastic opening in 2016. Now the thing I love about James Corden is obviously he's British, but he is such a theatre fan. And I think that's what I actually love the most about the Tonys, is that it's a whole group of just theatre junkies. Guys who love being a part of and making and expressing themselves through theatre, and they all have such fun. So the 2016 opening was basically just James Corden going through his favourite musicals, one after the other. Grease, Sunset Boulevard, Cats, The Lion King, all of them, like anything you can possibly imagine, just singing like one or two lines from each of them and just having the best time on that Broadway stage, living his best life.
The hills are alive with the sound of trouble. Right here in River City, with a capital T, and that rhymes with T, and that stands for people. People who need people. The luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight, tonight, tomorrow, tomorrow, midnight, not a sound from the cave.
He speaks about how when he was a kid and he would watch theatre and he would watch Broadway, and how desperately he wanted to be a part of that, and how he now can't believe that he has this opportunity to be on that stage, and how excited little James would be for him to actually be doing that, and the joy of that, and the joy of theatre. He really does do a fantastic job. It's very different to the Neil Patrick Harris stuff, but I would definitely recommend watching those, I guess, as a bonus. So let's go back to Neil, because he is my favourite. So his first opening that was written just for him was in 2011, and it was a piece called Not Just for Gays. And basically he goes through explaining how and why the theatre is not just for gays anymore, and all these different kind of people who can come and see it, and the fact that you can still be a man and get your testosterone fix, with one of the greatest lines being, so put down your Playboy and pick up a playbill and feel like a man.
So put down your Playboy and go make a plan to pick up a playbill and feel like a man.
It's really, really funny. The only slight problem with this one is that he goes into the audience and asks them to sing various lines, and unfortunately Brooke Shields flubs her lines, which means I always have to skip that bit because I just find it way too cringy to watch. If you don't have that problem, then, go for it, knock yourselves out. It is very, very funny and very enjoyable. Just this idea that the theatre is for everybody and you can come and be a part of it, and very, very entertaining. He then did it again in 2012 with a piece called What If Life Was More Like Theatre. Now, I love this one for a couple of reasons. One is this idea that, wouldn't it be amazing if your life was like theatre? How everything was cued and set up and kind of had a happy ending, and it was neat and tight and just kind of ran. It didn't have the messiness that real life has, that you could be supported by stage hands and stage managers who would have every prop for you in the right place. There are also a couple of other really great moments. Specifically, he pretends that Patti LuPone is his neighbour, and then they're singing about something and they say, well, just as everything gets really hectic, cool, you guys can take an intermission. And they take a break right in the middle of the show. They just stop and they're like, okay, cool. Okay, ready for Act 2, which I really love. It's so funny.
And then just when you were in the most precarious position, you would get a brief intermission.
Thanks, fellas. Nice crowd.
I like the matinee better.
Way.
Act 2!
But my absolute favourite opening number has to be the 2013 Neil Patrick Harris opening, which, for the sake of simplicity, we'll call Bigger. Now, the lyrics for this were actually written by Tom Kitt and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel, for those of you who don't know, is the guy behind Hamilton, who wrote those incredible rap lyrics with, the lyrics just kind of running off your tongue at super speed. And this is really just an ode to how much we love theatre and how much we love Broadway. He speaks about, kids watching this at home and, dreaming and wanting to be that. And you have to understand, he says to that kid, please understand that we, all of us here on stage, we were you. We all had the same dreams as you, and we love theatre just as much as you do, and that's why we're here now, showing how much we love theatre.
There's a kid in the middle of nowhere who's sitting there living for Tony performances, singing and flipping along with the Pippins and Wickeds and Kikis, Matildas and Mormonses. So we might reassure that kid and do something to spur that kid, because I promise you, all of us out here tonight, we were that kid, and now we're bigger.
And it's just my favourite thing about the Tonys, the joy and the wonderfulness of seeing people win and celebrating people's wins and being part of this community that just has a love for this medium that does something special and magical to you. People who love theatre, love it all the way down to their bones, all the way down to their socks. They can't imagine their lives without it, and it's just such a passion of theirs. And the thing about Bigger that makes it so wonderful is how it brings all these different parts of theatre together, and it does just get bigger and bigger and bigger as he goes through the show. More and more people on stage, more and more people getting involved, acrobats and dancers and jumping and in the aisles and characters from The Lion King. And honestly, it is one of my absolute favourite things. If I'm ever feeling down, I just go and watch that opening, and it really, really makes me feel just full of the joys of spring. I absolutely love it. I can't really say anything else. So the other part of the Tonys that's also worth considering is the little skits and the little performances that happen throughout the show. So every year they will do an excerpt from every Best Musical nominee. So you will get to see kind of a bit of what's going on. And I would just recommend, searching Tony Award performances or Tony Award openings on YouTube. It's a great way to get lost into a YouTube-specific spiral. You can lose hours of your life there, but I really would recommend it, because if you want to see what's going on in the theatre world, if you want to see people who love theatre, if you want to see how incredible a theatre production can be on a Broadway scale, it's the best place to be. So I hope that was interesting and useful. If you guys have any comments or questions, you can let me know on our social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TheatreJunkiesZA, or via email info@theatrejunkies.co.za. Tell me what you've watched and let me know what you think is your favourite opening. Hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next one.